Great day in North Florida.
Indeed
You guys
it
are
is.
here with God Tier Scouting. Cole, tell me how you're doing today.
Well, I'm going to have to tell you that I'm doing fucking great. If you can see here, we got the 2017 jersey back out because that is how the Jaguars played yesterday, which was Sunday, against the Buffalo Bills, in a win, 6-9. What a win for the Jags.
Wow, what a win for the Jags, taking down a potential Super Bowl contender.
I got a couple of first thoughts if you'd like me to go ahead and share those.
Please share.
First thing I'd like to say is Duval, motherfucker, because Jaguars defeated the Buffalo Bills at home in a 6-9 no touchdown win. Monstrous game from the defense, who totaled for 4 sacks, 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, and Josh Allen, the quarterback of the Bills, had 2 interceptions, no touchdowns, 1 lost fumble, and a 62.7 QBR. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the number 1 leading offense in the NFL. Not anymore. Thank you very much. The trifecta of Josh Allen, the defensive end, with 8 total tackles, 1 sack, 1 fumble recovery, and an interception in 1 game. I give the Jacksonville Jaguars defensive end the first of the God Tier Scouting Big Dick Player of the Week award. Woo. Credit to Brandon Perna for the BDP award. Just got to throw that out there. Anyways, KC versus Green Bay was also a defensive slugfest, which was kind of weird. I did not expect that.
That game sucked.
Yeah, I didn't think anybody expected that crap.
Jordan Love sucks too.
Ooh. Colt McCoy came in clutch to beat the 49ers. Wait, what? Did I just say Colt McCoy?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. 35-year-old Colt McCoy came in there clutch as hell, and that is what happened there. If you'd like, I have some injuries to go over as well, unless you have some.
You can go ahead.
All right, I've got a couple. It is Monday, guys, so a lot of these we don't really know too much about. So I'm just going to give you the player name, the injury that they had, and I'm going to skip over any possible timetables or anything right now. This is too early for any of that. But I got Trevor Lawrence, low ankle sprain, and looked bad, but he actually came back into the game, so I'm assuming he'll be fine. Damian Harris had a head injury, hoping that's not a concussion, but again, we don't know. Same thing with Johnny Smith, not same thing, but Johnny Smith had a shoulder injury, and then Devontae Booker had hip injury, and Chase Edmonds with an ankle injury. Nothing we know about those yet, so we'll have to see how that is. But that is it for my first thoughts on Week 9.
Alrighty. My thoughts for Week 9, from a personal perspective, the Vikings suck. Florida State sucks. All my fantasy teams are pretty average. And this is what we call pain. And we get pain during the football season, but you want to know what? It's temporary, and it makes you stronger. So we just got to push through in Week 10 and just, hope for the best. I do have some news. Desean Jackson has been signed by the Raiders, or they plan to bring him on. I don't know if it's completely official, it's pretty official.
It's official now.
Expect him to do exactly what you're assuming. He's going to take Ruggs' spot. He's going to be a deep threat. And I anticipate that he does find more success than he did at the Rams.
Yeah.
They know how to use that deep threat extremely well there.
They don't have an option at that in the Raiders
at all.
Now.
And Desean Jackson's pretty sick.
But he did he got number 1. I saw that today. So he will be wearing number 1 for the Raiders, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. And then Odell Beckham, still a question mark. We don't know yet exactly where he's going to end up.
Jaguars did not claim him on the waivers as well.
If I had to guess, I would say 49ers or the Green Bay Packers.
Or, God forbid, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That would be insane.
I don't know if they have the cap space for that, but...
But are you ready to jump into the 3 for 4?
I am ready. Who's going first, sir?
Take it away, Cole.
All right. With my top 3 players with my stock rising, first of all, I want to mention Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy is 35 years old, and he is throwing this performance in the mix. 22 completions on 26 attempts for a touchdown. What? I mean, that was a perfect game from Colt McCoy, and he came out and he beat the San Francisco 49ers as the backup with Kyler Murray out. I don't think anybody really saw that coming because he had a hell of a game on Sunday. Even though it's only one touchdown, dude, I mean, 22 of 26, no picks. That's awesome for a 12th year player, 35 years old, who's had struggles in the past. So that's pretty awesome to see. Number 2 for my top 3 players is Cordarrelle Patterson. I think it's time to admit that Cordarrelle Patterson is the real deal.
Certified.
Yeah, 9 rushes for 10 yards. Yeah, that kind of sucks. But let's talk about the 6 receptions for 126 yards. Holy shit.
Certified baller.
Patterson is putting up at worst decent numbers and at best amazing numbers. So he is pretty good option. If you have him, please keep him, dude. I mean, there's some people with him on the waiver wire this week. Not very common, but he definitely needs to be respected.
Oh, yeah.
He's finally found his role in his team on the Falcons, and it is awesome to watch because he definitely deserves that. My final player here is going to be Nick Chubb, the Cleveland Browns running back, and Chubb's back, baby. He is on my fantasy team, and I'm glad to have him back for 14 carries, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 receptions for 26 more yards against the Cincinnati Bengals, and a huge win for the Browns. Awesome game from that star running back, nearly 10 yards per carry for Cleveland's star running back, Nick Chubb.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that will run through my top 3. If you want to go ahead, sir.
I'm ready. My 3 players with their stock rising. We'll start the list off with Dallas Goedert. I think that's how you say it. So Dallas has been getting prime usage since
Ertz.
Zach Ertz's departure to the Cardinals. The games he's played, 5, 6, 7 targets. He's been very successful. And if you watch the Eagles offense, you can tell he's just a major part of the offense. And they're going to keep using him. And I plan on him he's going to keep getting better, and he's going to develop through that position. And he's probably going to be good for years to come. Second guy who was on my list last week, Michael Pittman. I questioned if he was a wide receiver 1. He is a wide receiver 1. He's playing at a very high level right now. It's clearly Carson Wentz's favorite target, who also seems to be heating up just a little bit. And, just watch Michael Pittman play. He's very fun to watch. You can tell he's clearly talented, and he's playing at a much higher level than the majority of the people in this league. So good for him. He was wide receiver 6 going into this week, and he's going to clearly be top 5 now after this week. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Last guy, Debo Samuel. He's made my list a few times now. Even though he didn't have a great week, he still got 9 targets, which is a reason for my stock going up. He's so consistent with the targets this year, and he is striving, and he's a major part of that 49ers offense, who isn't bad, a little bit above average maybe with the run game. But Debo's the guy there. Him and George Kittle coming back. So we'll see what happens. But Cole, who are your 3 players with the stock falling?
All right, first off, I'd like to start with an honorable mention. I didn't think he's worth putting on here because he's been falling for a while now, but it's Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold had 3 interceptions, just seeing ghosts again. Unfortunately, I think we all knew that he was not going to be amazing this year, and I never really thought he was going to be much in his career, unfortunately, but I will throw him in there as a quick honorable mention. That being said, I'm going to start off here with another quarterback who is on the opposite end of the spectrum, and that's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is on here again because he's seemingly been replaced by his doppelganger or something. I mean, no interceptions and 1 touchdown, but he had 20 completions on 37 attempts, 74.8 QBR. That's not the Mahomes we know. It's just not. I mean, that's almost half of his passes completed, and he's not looking great. I mean, they put up 13 points in Green Bay, and they almost lost to Green Bay with their backup.
Love.
Yeah.
To Jordan Love.
Not to mention, I mean, that Jordan Love is not the guy there, unfortunately, right now. But this entire Kansas City team has been pretty rough to watch right now, and their win against Green Bay was exceedingly weird and boring. I don't think anyone expected that game to be such a defensive slugfest, but that's what we got. My second guy here on here is, sorry, Eric, but it's Kenneth Gainwell.
Kenneth stole my guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we all have him on here after that performance. I think the Eagles as an organization is just poison for running backs, to be quite honest with you. Gainwell is getting shafted at the moment. I mean, 2 touches against the Chargers yesterday, although he did somehow manage to score on 3 touches and 2 yards. 3 yards on 2 touches. Like, what in the world? With no receptions and a touchdown? I mean,
Bizarre.
That is ridiculous.
It is.
I think it's time to call it if you haven't already on Kenneth Gainwell, unfortunately. This Eagles situation with running back room is always kind of iffy, and it looks like Jordan Howard is going to be the guy there for at least the next few weeks, and then he'll probably be thrown off a cliff just like everyone else.
Dude, that's so sad. Kenneth Gainwell fucking sucks.
He doesn't suck. It's the Eagles, man.
Well, I know, but fantasy, he fucking sucks, dude. I cannot believe that. Like,
yeah, I know.
It seems so... Dude, it was a beautiful situation. I don't want Miles Sanders to get hurt, but it was very, like... I was banking on him to get hurt, and I was right. He got hurt. Kenneth Gainwell, rookie who stole Boston Scott's effing job in the offseason. What the fuck? Jordan Howard from the practice squad. I think that I really am questioning if Kenneth Gainwell did something wrong in the background. Dude.
Politics, you think?
I really do think it might be politics. It is bizarre. He got touches at the end of the game against Detroit.
But look, dude, that is such a revolving door of a running back room. I'm not surprised.
But it was only Miles Sanders. It was only Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell for
how
literally
long?
the first 6 or 7 weeks. Only those 2.
Well,
and I just
whatever happened there. I mean, it is what it is.
sorry to get so heated.
No.
Sorry, I apologize.
Just to keep things flowing here, guys. I've got my last player with my stock falling. That's Myles Gaskin, another running back on here. Myles Gaskin had 20 carries. Why does that make him fall? Because he had 34 freaking yards. What the hell is that? 1.7 average yards per carry. 1.7 average yards per carry, gentlemen. That is a 3 and out every down by far. I mean,
I dropped him like 2 weeks ago.
That's disgusting. He was able to redeem himself on 6 receptions for 23 yards and somehow got a rushing touchdown. But geez, I mean, for now he remains a good option at running back because of the receptions only and the touchdowns. But his performance is not good for his outlook, much less against the Texans of all teams. That is what he was able to do. He got stuffed. I mean, that is a Derrick Henry level of carries. That is not acceptable on his part. So that will wrap up my list there. I'm going to turn it back to you.
All right, my first guy is Kenneth Gainwell, and you guys already heard what I had to say about him, so I'm not going to talk about him. I don't even want to. Vikings offense, this is going to piss me off too. Vikings offense, so we obviously have 3 stars. Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook. And like right now, yesterday Zimmer and Kubiak were trending on Twitter. Like they were the number 1 trend under sports because they need to be fired immediately. They don't know how to use these players. They don't know how to win games. And until they are fired, these 3 guys will be inconsistent. And it's kind of like a risk. I mean, if you have they're good starters, but I cannot say they're like number 1s right now. I really can't. Justin Jefferson maybe, but these players are not being used the correct way. Justin Jefferson started the game with a 50-yard bomb and did not see another target till overtime. That makes sense.
That failed block he had, that was pretty funny though.
And then Dalvin Cook, first quarter, 90 yards. He finished the game with 89. What?
I thought he had 78.
78.
So how the hell did that happen?
It's called poor coaching staff, poor leadership. Viking, if you're questioning why these guys have been slowing down, this is the answer. I just traded Dalvin Cook. We're gonna see if that was the wrong decision or not. But yeah, I'm kind of fed up with the Vikings offense, and I do think a lot of the stock is falling in all 3 of those players. I hope none of y'all has Cousins. That would be devastating. Mike Williams is my last guy. I think it's not only Mike Williams, but it is the Chargers as well. Chargers are struggling, obviously. I've also seen that or noticed that every single game that Mike Williams has had under 5 targets, those have been the disappointing games we've seen. the games he has 9+ targets, he's been outstanding. Literally wide receiver 1 if he gets those many targets. So maybe the Chargers need to figure out how to get him the ball more, but until then, like, they're just struggling, and that's how it is. And it's unfortunate.
It is.
3 favorite waiver pickups. I can start this one off. Adrian Peterson, come on, baby. Dude, he's in good shape, man. He's not in bad shape. I watched him against the Rams. Very good rush defense, and he was able to get a touchdown. Didn't get a whole ton of yards, but Titans are going to use him. And the Titans are also a very, very good football team. And you want players on good football teams.
That picture that y'all would have seen by now, he looks like he is in better shape than half of the freaking league.
I know, dude.
I don't understand.
Shout out to AP. It's awesome. Second guy, Desean Jackson. Like I said, he got picked up by the Raiders. He's going to replace Henry Ruggs, and I would not be surprised if he was a much better Henry Ruggs. Desean Jackson is a legend, and I like him a lot. Last guy, Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore finally had his breakout game. We did not see this breakout game for a while. I think there is a major correlation with Zach Wilson being the quarterback at the time. We had what's his name? Mike White. We had Mike White come in, and they used Elijah a little more. But then next game, what's the third string quarterback's name? Josh Johnson. Josh Johnson came in, and he was using Elijah Moore, and Elijah Moore looked outstanding. I would compare him to a small Stephon Diggs. Go watch his tape. Look at Stephon Diggs' tape. It's savvy. It's crisp. Route running. Able to get separation. Protects the ball. I would like to hear your thoughts.
All
Cole,
right.
who are your 3 favorite waiver pickups?
I'll start off with the same guy here, Elijah Moore again. 27% rostered on Yahoo, 15 on ESPN. He's a rookie. He's been a name that I've been watching this year after the offseason camp reports that we saw. During that Thursday night football game, Moore had 8 targets, 7 receptions for 84 yards, and 2 freaking touchdowns. Before that, previous 2 games, he had drawn 6 targets each. And that's hard to imagine they're going to take away too much volume from him when Davis returns. So I think he is a viable option. I think we're finally witnessing the breakout here. And if we don't see more of Elijah Moore on the field, then that speaks to the New York Jets as an organization, and that's all I've got to say on that.
Yeah, Elijah Moore's good.
Yeah.
Colts defense is good.
All right.
And he was toying with him. Sorry.
No, you're good. My next guy on here is going to be Logan Thomas. This is kind of not... okay, I know. Maybe not technically under roster enough to make the list. 48% roster on ESPN, 53 on Yahoo. But he's been gone for most of the year, and he's aiming for a Week 10 return. It does look like he's going to make it back finally. And it's straight up rare to see a top 5 upside option at their position on the waiver wire for nearly half of leagues, which is pretty crazy. So I would snag him if he's there because he's a comfortable tight end 1. And he can literally be gotten for nothing right now. So if you need him, take him, or hell, trade bait. Just take him, pick him up if he's there. And my final guy here is going to be Jordan Howard. And he's 12% rostered on Yahoo and 8% on ESPN for some reason. Howard, the bulldozer, as his teammates refer to him, led the Eagles in carries. He had 17 touches for 71 yards and a touchdown on the ground. And that seems to be a possible favorite back in the very volatile Eagles backfield, I would say. So I would caution you on picking up for a long-term solution, but he should be viable until the Eagles decide to throw him out the window on the highway, as they do with every freaking running back that they get. How many people have we seen run through that running back room? Jay Ajayi not that long ago. I'm not even going to start. There's so many people. There's Corey Clement. There's Kenneth Gainwell this year. there's so many breakouts.
Slim Shady.
Yeah.
Lindell Smallwood.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that run through that place. But that is it for me. I'm going to turn it over to you for your top 3 matchups for Week 10.
Top 3 matchups. Number 1, Saints versus Titans. Saints 5-3, Titans 7-2. Yes, the Saints quarterbacks are a question mark at the moment. Taysom Hill, I disregard Taysom Hill. Simeon's been doing decent. They almost came back and beat the Falcons, but the Falcons were able to pull off that win. I think they are a better team, or they were a better team that day. I do think this is going to be a closer game than people think. I do not think the Titans are going to blow out the Saints. Sean Payne is a top 5 coach in the NFL, and he just doesn't allow those things to happen. They have a good defense. It will be a close game, but the Titans will win this. I'll give the Titans a touchdown. We got to remember the Titans did lose Derrick Henry, and AP is not Derrick Henry. Browns versus Patriots. So I really like how the Browns played extremely well last week against a good team. I consider the Bengals a good team, both sides of the ball. But no, there's no way the Browns are going to keep that up. It's going to be a close game. I do think the Browns will beat the Patriots. They'll be able to establish a run. And I think it'll be close, but I'll give the Browns 10 points. And then Vikings versus Chargers. I think this, I'm very disappointed in Minnesota, but I will say that they can compete with anyone in the game right now. And I anticipate that this Chargers-Vikings game will be a cool game, and it will be close. The spread, I think, is 2.5, and I think Minnesota's going to cover that somehow. Be like a point, something crazy. But that is my top 3. I said Titans 7, Browns 10, and Chargers 1. Cole, your 3 favorite matchups?
All right, I'll start off here with the Denver Broncos versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, my reasoning here is because the Broncos are proving everyone wrong about their potential with Teddy Two Gloves, Bridgewater under center, and the Eagles desperately need a good win to salvage any hope in the season. And that is all eyes on those 2 QBs with that up at the stake here. I mean, the Eagles have to win this game in realistic terms to be in a wild card spot as we're getting to that point of the season where we start talking about the playoff positioning, and it's going to be very important.
We're getting close to that, honestly.
Yeah. The Los Angeles Rams versus San Francisco 49ers. LA just lost in a shocker against Tennessee, and that is weird. And so did the 49ers to a Colt McCoy-led Cardinals team without their star quarterback in Murray. So it is going to be interesting to see if LA can bounce back against this 49ers team, and that is what I expect them to do. And my last one here is going to be the Seattle Seahawks versus the Green Bay Packers. Why? Because Green Bay just lost to Kansas City without Aaron Rodgers, and the Seahawks have struggled without the man quarterback Russell Wilson. And guess who returns? Aaron Rodgers. Guess who else returns? Russell Wilson. Badass matchup. That's going to be a fun one to watch.
That is sick.
Yeah, it'll be an awesome matchup on Sunday. So that will conclude my top 3. I think we're looking at our Monday night predictions now, if you want to go ahead and kind of give me yours.
We got the Steelers versus the Bears. Shout out to my buddy Henson. He's at the game. I know he's very excited. I'm going to take the Bears here. Montgomery's coming back, and they're gonna I think they're gonna use Montgomery and Khalil Herbert, and I think that Justin Fields is gonna have a good game tonight. I do. I think he's gonna play really well. Give the Bears by 3. Cole.
All right, so I got to say, I did a lot of research into this game. I won't go over everything, but a QB comparison perspective here. First, I have a grizzled veteran who has some doubts about his future for sure. I mean, for years now, we've been questioning Roethlisberger's future in the NFL. And then we have an up-and-coming rookie who has impressed in some games this season, but he's also disappointed in others, and his stats kind of say that. So if we look at the numbers real quick, Ben Roethlisberger is looking pretty good, 65% completion percentage, 87.6 QBR, with 1,781 yards on the year, with 8 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. and a measly 6 rushing yards. So we'll throw that in there. That's pretty sad. Justin Fields, on the other hand, is looking 59.5% completion percentage, 65.7 rating. Yikes, 991 yards, 3 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's got to improve. And then he's got 243.
Seven interceptions?
7 interceptions.
2 touchdowns?
3 touchdowns. Still not great, though. I mean, he's also got 243 yards on the ground with 2 touchdowns on the ground as well, so that's worth putting in there. But I've got to give the advantage to Pittsburgh in the quarterback comparison there. I think it's rather obvious. I mean, Big Ben is just a veteran pocket passer who's just provided more of a statistically solid performance this year.
What about the good defenses, though?
That's what we're going to talk about next. So I do have an offense statistical comparison real quick, and then we'll go over the defensive statistical comparison. Now, I did come up with the God tier scouting ranking system for this. Now, the God tier ranking system takes all of the different components, let's say. So total yards per game, passing yards per game allowed, rushing yards per game allowed for the defense, obviously, and then points per game allowed, third down percentage allowed. And then same on the offense. We have the same 5 statistics. We'll start with the offense. So with Pittsburgh, we're looking at 340.2 total yards per game, 244.4 passing yards per game, 86 rushing yards per game, and 18.9 points per game for 40.9 third down percentage, which is going to average with the GTS ranking system to a 22nd in the NFL offensively spot. All right, so now if we look at the Chicago Bears, we're averaging 294.3 yards per game, 127.4 passing yards per game. Jesus Christ, 127.4 passing yards per game. That's pretty bad. There's more rushing yards per game in Chicago, 136.6 rushing yards per game, almost 10 more. What does that say? I mean, that's pretty crazy. If
that
you
is
ask
pretty
me.
crazy.
And only 15.4 points per game. Whew. Yikes. And a 34.7 third down average percentage. And that puts them with averaging all of those rankings in 26th in the NFL on offense. So that's not great. Now what we've got with the Pittsburgh Steelers on defense, they are 11th in total yards per game, 14th in passing yards per game, 13th in rushing yards per game, tied for 7th for points per game allowed, and 8th in third down percentage allowed. And that puts them at 11th in the NFL for total defense. Looking at Chicago, I'm not going to go through everything, but they are ranked with the GTS ranking system 18th in the NFL for defense. And then what we do with the GTS ranking system is we combine those 2 ratings into one, and that puts the Chicago Bears at the 22nd in the NFL total ranking, and Pittsburgh at 17th. Obviously, that has a little bit of an advantage for Pittsburgh. Now, I do have a little bit of an algorithm that I also use to predict the points today. I have Chicago Bears scoring 17 points and Pittsburgh Steelers scoring 21 points, with the W going to Pittsburgh tonight. So I will take them in a 21-17 victory against the Chicago Bears.
Nice.
And
I like your analysis.
Thank you.
This is tobacco, by the way.
No, it's not. It's medical.
Yeah, it is.
It's tobacco. Anyways, we're going to move on from that topic now. That is it for tonight, guys. So we're about to watch this Monday Night Football game, and we're going to see if we were wrong or if we were right. And you guys have a great night. Thank you for tuning in.
Have a great night, great day in North Florida.
Great day in North Florida.